Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Bull City Hangout 626. I'm Pat Murray. I publish the Durham Skylighter, that's Durham, North Carolina's online community paper. And with Bull City Hangout, I tell you what's happening today and tomorrow morning here in Durham. And then I invite you to join me on camera, shoot the breeze, share some information, etc., etc. So let's get started with the school tools page. It is lunchtime. Everything that I'm reading is from durhamskywriter.com. So right now I'm reading from the school tools page. So the summer meals program is on right now, Durham Public Schools. They're feeding children in need. Young people ages 18 and under can go to their nearest school, at least the ones on the list that I'll be reading to you. So they can get free boxed lunch. Okay, just go to the school that's closest to you. And then the adults can get non-perishable supplies. So that's really awesome. So you have until 12:30 to rush on over to Bethesda, Eno Valley, Githens, Erin Harris, Hillside High School, Parkwood, or Sandy Ridge. And then you have until 1:30 to get to Burton, Lakeview, Shepherd, Southern High School, or Southwest. And today is Friday, and extra schools join in on Friday to help out. So you have until 12:30 to get to Brogdon, Eastway, Glen, Holt, Y.E. Smith, or C.C. Spalding, and then you have until 1:30 to get to Club Boulevard, Hillendale, Holton, Kip, Durham, Maureen Joy, or Lakewood. The addresses are listed right there on the school tools page of the Durham Skylighter. Okay, nice partnership, Chicken Hut, which is at 3019 Fayetteville Street, and Healthy Start Academy. So you go in, you get in line, get your, your lunch for the, today's Friday, that means fish at Chicken Hut. They have the best fish. But if you are in need, that's okay. Just stop in and you can get a free boxed lunch for your child. I think it's a wonderful partnership of Chicken Hut and Healthy Start Academy. All right, and you have until like 2-ish. People are in need, so Jeff said sometimes they run out at 1:30. So just get there when you can, between noon and like 1:30-ish, to get a free box lunch for your child if you are in need. All righty, let's talk to the folks from Durham's Universal Pre-K. It's free, so enroll your child in pre-kindergarten. It's time. School's not going to start right away, of course, but they're getting it all together. So you can apply online in English or in Spanish. And if you don't want to do it online, maybe you don't have a good internet connection, whatever, there's a phone number listed right there on the school tools page. You can call and set an appointment and then have your conversation on over the phone. All right, let's see what else is happening on school tools. I think it's pretty much, one more thing, job fair. Okay, Durham Public Schools, they're having a virtual recruitment fair. That's a job fair. That's going to be this coming Tuesday. Now, they're looking to hire substitute teachers, custodians, carpenters, painters, groundskeepers, and certified fleet services staff. I think that's maybe the bus drivers. I'm not sure. So anyway, you can, the link for registering is right there on the school tools page. So they're actually having 2 job fairs. So everybody except the teachers can attend from 11 until 2, and then those wanting to be substitute teachers, they're invited to attend from 4 until 6. Anyway, check out the school tools page and get the information and the links. And good luck. Let's go to the word page, RSVP. As you know, it might have skipped your mind. It's, tax day instead of April 15th, which is come and gone. It's July 15th, so get your stuff together. Be sure to file. Now you can't, RSVP usually has locations where you can go and get your taxes done for free. You can still have them done for free, but this year you'll have to do them yourself, but they will help you out. Go to the Word page, scroll down to RSVP, and then you can find out which program to download to do it yourself. And also there's a list of all the paperwork that you'll need in order to do that. Now they are available via phone or whatever, and also, email. So if you have any questions, they will be more than happy to help you out. They're not going to leave you hanging. So go to the Word page for more information on that. Tax day, July 15th, just a couple of weeks away. Okay, let's go to the Garden Shed page and see what's going on with Keep Durham Beautiful. Keep Durham Beautiful has a lily bulb giveaway. Now, if you're like me and you love a beautiful garden, definitely get in line for that one. Apply online. Now, this is for faith-based gardens, community gardens, garden clubs, schools, civic and neighborhood groups. So just get together real quick, talk about it, and then put in your application, so to speak, online. And you have to be able to plant them like right away, because reading between the lines, it sounds like to me that these bulbs are already sprouting. And so they're looking to have people take these bulbs off their hands and beautify the city. So there's going to be 2 pickup days. It's going to be Thursday from 3:30 until 6, and then Friday, that's next Friday, from 9 until noon. But you do have to sign up and see if you can get approved and get those lily bulbs in the ground so we can actually enjoy the flowers later this year, later this summer. All right, I just wanted to mention The Weekend Gardener. It's a cute radio show. They've been on for like 40, 50 years, I don't know. But it's on WPTF. So, I mean, they're not advertising with me. I mean, I just think it's a cute show to listen to get inspired about gardening. And they have like 1,000,000 years of experience. They're talking about shrubs, trees, lawns, flowers, soil. They know everything. So check out The Weekend Gardener. That's tomorrow from 8 until noon. I'm sorry, 8 until 11 on WPTF. Jessica, hello, hello. Join me. You can come to the Facebook page of the Durham Skywriter, and if you'd like to join me on camera, just hop on in. Oh wait. Okay, she says thanks for the reminder. Okay. All righty. And yes, let me put that on camera there. Keep Durham Beautiful lily bulbs. Get them. Absolutely. All right. So join me if you like. So let's go to the, let's see, where are we? Oh, Sunflower Project. Wait, where is that? Where is that? Ah, where is it? Anyway, let me go to the Let's Go page, because I think I doubled that. Sometimes I have the same information on different pages. I'm pretty sure I have it on the Let's Go page as well. So now I'm on the Let's Go page. That is the calendar of events page. And let's start with, I think Duke has something going on. Yes. The Duke University Student Wellness Center, they're hosting something called Double Pandemic, Whiteness/Anti-Blackness, and COVID-19. They'll be talking about all of that today from 1 until 2. This discussion is designed to help you talk about your experiences and to come up with strategic solutions. The links can be found on the Let's Go page. Just scroll down to 626. Also, the North Carolina Museum of, here's what I was looking for. The North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences and the Prairie Ridge Eco Station, they're co-hosting a journey. Wait, this is correct? Oh, that I didn't update. Okay, I didn't update. I updated it, but somehow on my iPad it didn't update. But I do remember that it's all about sunflowers today. And last week it was hummingbirds. This week it's sunflowers. You can talk all about sunflowers and learn how you can use sunflowers to lure pollinators to your garden. I was just talking to a gardener the other day. He has all these vegetables planted, and for some reason they're not being pollinated. Somehow he's having trouble getting bees to enter the garden and to pollinate the flowers. So Guy Cook is here. Hey, Guy. The links, do you put the links on your URL? The link to join me here on camera is on the Durham Skywriter Facebook page if you'd like to join me. And the links that I'm listing, the articles, the write-ups, yes, there are live links on the Durham Skywriter website at durhamskywriter.com. Join me if you like. Let's see. So anyway, it's all about sunflowers today with the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences and Prairie Ridge Eco Station. That is from 2 until 3. The link is on the Let's Go page. Duke is back in the news. Duke Science and Society, they're having a panel discussion. Jesse's here. Okay, let me read these last few announcements and then I'll bring you on. Let's see. They'll be talking about coronavirus conversations, conducting elections during a pandemic. They're going to be talking about keeping not only the voters, but the poll watchers safe as well. I hope they have time. Now, this is only going to be from 2:30 until 3. And again, the link can be found on the Let's Go page. But I hope they have time to at least talk about, at least a little bit, about how they're closing, shutting down polling stations, places to vote, due to what they call the pandemic. And strangely enough, they're in neighborhoods, people of color. Somehow they're closing up all of these polling places. I editorialized too much. Just check it out. It's going to be from 2:30 until 3. The link can be found on the Let's Go page. And let's hope that they at least address the strange occurrence of the shut down polling places. Now, Moms Rising and the National Women's Law Center, they'll be co-hosting a rally online, Rally for Workers and Families Save Childcare. That's going to be tonight, or rather this afternoon from 4 until 5. Join all kinds of people. I'm not even going to mention the names. You've heard of all these people. Check out the Let's Go article. I don't want to talk too much, but basically, just to keep it short and sweet, childcare is disappearing because they're going out of business. They're not making any money, and this is going to adversely affect people with children who need to work or look for work because they lost their job due to the pandemic. So you can see how this is becoming a crazy round robin. So attend the rally if you're interested from 4 until 5. The link is on the Let's Go page. Now, this is happening tomorrow. The Durham Farmers Market is downtown in Durham Central Park, 8 until noon. The Durham Craft Market, they're back, 8 until noon, Durham Central Park. South Durham Farmers Market, 8 until noon, way south on Highway 55. Dew Gardens, they're having something called Seasonal Celebrities, where you can learn all about the best plants for North Carolina gardens. That's from 10 until 1. Also, the Roost Farmers Market, they're back, and they're a little different this year. They want you to go online, check out the different farmers who are participating, make your order, and then pick them up tomorrow. So you can't just go there and just, like with the Durham Farmers Market, just visit all the farmers. So they're doing it a little differently this year. So make your order, because you can pick up your order tomorrow from 10 until 11. Check it out on the Let's Go page. And then virtual community connections. Alliteration kills me sometimes. They're hosting the Call to Unite. This is going to be a super interesting discussion online from 11 until 1. That's tomorrow. Talk about community issues and solutions with co-hosts Delbert Jarman and Vegas Don. And also Mayor Steve Sewell will be there as well. And also activists, people from law enforcement, and all kinds of folks. It's a gigantic Zoom event. It's happening tomorrow from 11 until 1. Check it out. That's tomorrow. Let's see. Also, I think that's it for tomorrow. Yes, that's it. Weather report. It is 84 and sunny. It is perfect out there. It's going up to 89. I have my ceiling fan on. And then tomorrow it's going up to 91, partly sunny. And to answer your question, Guy Cook, yes, as of today in North Carolina, you simply must wear a mask at public events, or rather, if you're out in public, period. Even to check your mail, wear your mask. Okay, let's bring on Jessica.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Hey, nice to see you. What are
Thank
you
you.
doing? Oh, yeah, I know what you're doing. I got to
Yeah.
read your whole paper because there's so many things like I've got to do.
Oh, well,
Tomorrow.
there's a lot of stuff happening, and people are starting to
I'm
open.
sorry. I'm going to mute this so that.
That's okay. That's okay. People are starting to realize, well, we better do our events online because it looks like it's going to take a while, at least for North Carolina to come back online. So everything is Zoom and StreamYard and Facebook Live, Periscope, whatever. You still got to get your business done and meet with people and solve problems. I'm really worried about this childcare thing because if you can't take your kitties to be taken care of while you're at work or while you're looking for a new job, that's going to be devastating. So unmute yourself so we can hear you, Jesse. Unmute.
Okay, there. Okay. Yeah, I'm worried about that too. Like, how can we provide childcare and also make sure that we're not transmitting the virus? And what about, I mean, if there's essential workers, then don't they need essential childcare? And how do we do that?
I guess they'll talk about it today. It's only like a 1 hour event, I think. I mean, hopefully this is just going to be just one of several conversations, because it's going to take more than an hour to figure this out. Let me see what time, let's see. Yeah, it's 1 hour, but it's a rally. So I'm thinking with it being a rally, they want us, because this is the National Moms Rising organization, and they're going to have people like Nancy Pelosi. I mean, this is like a big deal, high profile. So I think they want us to take it local. They're probably wanting to rev us up so that we can, contact our local legislators and get this taken care of. And don't worry about muting, Jesse, because we all love puppies.
Mine is very loud.
That's okay. That's okay. Because this isn't a formal interview. We're just hanging out.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm comfortable now.
Okay. So yeah, this is a gigantic, I mean, it's almost like a house of cards. Failure here leads to failure there, leads to failure down the road. So I don't have all the answers. And that's why this gigantic community conversation, actually, Duke's coronavirus conversation, that's going to be amazing, talking about elections. Because already I have seen the bots and the people who seem to be paid by certain organizations pushing the idea that voting by mail is a terrible idea. And of course, the military has been voting by mail for decades. So it worked for them. So I'm sure it could work for us too. Talking about table of cards or card, whatever the term is, the post office, will they be open in November? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's an issue because we have like our local post office and we can walk to it. So like my post office is right across the street.
Nice.
So if I need to like mail a package or something, I can just walk over there. But
they're short on funding. It is quite possible that they'll be out of business by August, supposedly. And I think that's planned. Somebody's got to step forward and save the post office.
Yeah,
I can't imagine the post office going out of business.
Well, no, that's an essential part, excuse me, of any country to have a post office.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Didn't like Benjamin Franklin get that in place or something?
I think he was the first to get it started. I think he was definitely in there. I don't know if he was the first. I doubt if he was a postmaster, but I know that he was instrumental in starting the post office, the postal service.
There was a Pony Express and all that. So
they said no darkness or dark of night or sleet or snow or whatever will stop the post office. And, so we can't have them running out of money.
No, absolutely not.
People get their medicines, their medications. People who can't travel get their medications via the post office. People get their paychecks. I mean, a lot of people have direct deposit nowadays, but still, a lot of people. I get my Social Security check every month. I can't possibly drive down to Washington, D.C. to get it, or drive up.
No.
So, but if they went out of business, then that would be wonderful for certain folks who want to curb the vote.
This is what I don't understand. If you don't mind me just jumping in a little bit.
Please do.
How come I I really don't get this. There are certain like powerful people in our country and even in our state and our region that want to get rid of so many things. They want to get rid of
Obamacare,
health insurance, Obamacare, the post office, voting,
Medicare,
Medicaid. Okay, so let's just take those 5 things. So those things are going to affect the workforce, which I'm a part of, and you're a part of, and like our whole community is a part of. So what I don't get is they're acting like Joker and Penguin and Batman. You know, it's like they're trying to kill just ordinary people. Why? Because if they kill ordinary,
I don't know. Because if this were a country like China, whatever, where you are totally dependent on the government for everything, I don't know what the benefit is to make everyone dependent on the government because you've cut everything. I mean, I don't know who else you could be dependent on. I mean, if they cut the post office and Medicaid, and that is pretty much the government. I don't know. And then there are huge groupings of people, many of whom are on what I would call the other side, who are anti-government. So, and a lot of those people are on, they don't realize that they drive on publicly funded roads, and they're they're on Social Security and disability, and a lot of these people have time to be anti-government, not realizing that they're being kept alive by the government because they're getting the monthly payments or whatever. I don't know what's going on, really. I don't know why. I mean, if you just want to hurt people, sure, but that doesn't make sense either.
No. So, well, could we just look at what's happening as a result for a minute? So what I see happening is like states and regions and even towns and cities are having to take up for where the federal government is pulling out or just being completely ineffectual.
Like the coronavirus testing as well.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So do we have to go through the whole process now of relearning why we became the United States in the beginning?
Yes, I think so. And the nice thing about the coronavirus pandemic is that it's kind of a good thing, at least for me. We're not distracted by sports and silly things like beauty pageants and what do you call those shows? Those shows, the reality shows, and and silly things like that. So I don't want to call sports silly. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's my brother calls it bread and roses. I think that's distractions, basically, right?
Yeah, right.
So in Roman days, in Roman civilization, what was it? Bread and roses were used to distract people from issues that affected their daily lives. I think that's what my brother's talking about.
Okay.
My brother, he's pretty well informed.
Yeah. But I don't know. There are certain people, there are some kinds, I mean, you see them in the news all the time. They're like sociopathic or whatever. I shouldn't throw terms around. I'm not a professional. But there are certain people, you see it in the movies, they want to see the world burn. They want to see how much harm they can inflict because it means, wow, I got power. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I think it doesn't matter if you're hurting, especially if you're hurting the enemy. Because I'm sure that we'd be considered the enemy, the certain person in the White House. So, and of course, they know the Republic. I'm just going to put it on the line. The Republicans do know that a lot of their base don't mind hurting themselves to hurt others, because they probably are too dumb to realize that they're hurting themselves when they reach out to hurt us. And there really shouldn't be an us and them anyway. I mean, when it comes to things like Medicare, Medicaid, post office, that's for everyone, even people who are not political at all. The services that we're used to, health, post office, everything, jobs, that's for everyone. I mean, you shouldn't have to think of it as only pertaining to your side, and there shouldn't be a us versus them anyway. But unfortunately, that's what it has become. And if your base, because I'll tell you one thing that happened in Chicago. The racial animosity was so bad at one point in the 70s that the white air traffic controllers were so upset because they had hired black ones that they actually put people's lives in danger. There were some near misses because they were so upset. They didn't mind killing or almost having people die to get rid of the people they didn't like, the black air traffic controllers.
So
yeah. So the base is very short-sighted, and by getting rid of Obamacare, that hurts a lot of people who voted for Trump were older people, and a lot of those people are need help in terms of health benefits. And they don't, in fact, did you see it on Facebook where they were querying all these people asking what they thought about Obamacare, and they said, yeah, we gotta banish it. We gotta get rid of Obamacare. And then they said, well, what do you think about affordable health care? Oh yeah, we need that. Oh, for sure.
Okay. All right. So I know that about like the, let me think now. Do you remember Jesse Helms?
I grew up in Chicago, but I definitely know who he was. Yes.
Because he was a powerful senator, sort of like McConnell is now.
I remember hearing about him.
So I grew up in North Carolina while Jesse Helms was in power in this state, and God, it was scary. I mean, it was really scary because he would encourage racial divide. He would encourage that people should have the idea of race in the first place, and that there was a racial hierarchy. And as my understanding goes, the purpose of that was to make sure that the let's say anti-fascist, pro-humanist, or pro-human rights and civil rights part of the population was divided, so that the people, actually the poor people would be divided, and that way we wouldn't unite to vote out the power of the wealthy, powerful people. As
the poor folks scramble for scraps, they're sitting back enjoying the struggle.
I guess I guess it's like if you don't have enough food, you throw some food to you throw it to the dogs, and the big dogs get all the food and the little dogs don't, or something like that. Oh,
okay.
Hi.
Hey, Guy, what's new?
Well, the newest thing is I found out when I was typing in the chat about Ben Franklin and such, I had an old Chromebook that Google said, well, this is deprecated. It's not going to be supported anymore because it's that old. I got white hair. Anyway, I could go in and see your room. I'm more than a little bit impressed with the rescue I did on the Chromebook. I installed a Linux distribution called
Okay.
Gallium OS, free. You can make
Okay.
donations, which you should do, but it's free, and
Okay.
it's written specifically for the hardware that is on the Chromebook device. So you go into their downloads page, and it says, what flavor of Chromebook do you have? And I lucked out tremendously because mine is a C720 Acer.
Okay.
And there's like 7 different chipsets. Little did I know about that. And so now I got it working. And so then
Okay.
I had to brag about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Way to go,
Yeah,
guys.
it's all one word, Jesse. It's Gallium OS together, in case you're Googling it.
Okay, Gallium OS for Chromebook, and it allowed you. Oh, my dog! It allowed you to see, to get into the room.
Yep. Now this right now, I'm in the room with my Logitech camera on my Windows computer, but I'm sure I could join from the Gallium OS. But the problem with the Gallium OS is I don't have a headset, and so there would be, guy would get labeled as, oh, I hope he doesn't join. He doesn't have a headphone. You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
But this show is great. I have not visited Durham Skywriter. I've known of it for a long time. Pat knows that. And the content today talking about childcare. Whoa! I got an appointment at 10 o'clock, but I stopped the music getting ready for that. Just come in and say, you are right on. And now here's the scary thing. Years ago, my wife is part Choctaw Native. Okay. Years ago, her brother-in-law and my brother-in-law, not her brother-in-law, her brother, Frank, said that the prediction was made by the tribe years and years ago that we will enter a time of no money. Okay. Now wrap that prediction around what the things that you've just been talking about the end of the post office, etc. So when you go to the time of no money, what have you got to trade to the daycare? You feel me?
Don't know.
You know, my son.
I don't know how that could work unless the parents bring in food.
Right. So what my son is calling his garden that he put in, I think I inspired him a little bit, because I've got a big garden, big for me, and he calls it the quarantine garden. Remember back in World War II when people tore up the little strip of ground between the sidewalk and the street and planted food?
I heard about the victory gardens.
Yeah,
right?
they were called victory gardens. Well, we're now calling them quarantine gardens.
Okay.
And being that the pandemic, despite what a lot of people saying, oh, it's going to be over, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if it's not? I just read on Facebook the other day that China, good old China, says we're entering the second phase of this crap.
Oh, right. Well, we're still in the first phase in North Carolina.
Yeah. So hopefully, And what I was asking you about the masks. Today, the governor of Washington State said you must wear a mask in any public gig you go to. If you go to the store or whatever, you're around other people, you wear a mask. Period.
Now, I don't know if they're saying this in Washington State, but here in North Carolina, you can be charged with trespassing if you refuse to leave a store because you don't have a mask on, and they ask you to leave.
It's a misdemeanor here. I don't know how much it's going to get enforced.
I don't think it's going to.
Here.
If you
don't wear a mask.
I think the police are, in some areas, are kind of tiptoeing around, not wanting to really get involved in things like this. I doubt if they're really going to be called to escort people out of stores right now, anyway.
Okay. One thing I just thought of, you just inspired, the word store. I went and got, sometimes I have to cook. So I went to the deli.
I hope so.
So I went to the deli and got my chicken. And the lady at the deli, you know those face shields you see them? Like
welding?
Yeah. Well, no, this wasn't welding. This is like clear plastic.
Okay.
Just to keep everything off of you. They're selling them at the grocery store now. Now, if you went to them a year ago and said, hey, you should get this product because it's going to be a hot potato, they'd have laughed you out the door. They
Well,
said,
I saw where they're selling, like, you have on a baseball cap. They're selling accessories where you can somehow attach a plastic shield to your baseball cap.
oh, no doubt. No doubt.
So, I don't know. It seems like it would be too close to your face, though.
The one I saw, if you took this ball cap and took the hat band out of the ball cap and then hang the plastic on the front, that's how much close it is.
That makes sense.
So it'd be like,
because you don't want it right on
it's
your
right
face.
there, but you don't. I don't think you'd see it. It's so crystal clear. I don't think you'd even, after 10 minutes, you would forget that you had it on until the first time you go and spit.
That would be awkward.
Yeah,
Better not do that.
Guy did that in a face mask the other day. I couldn't believe it. I still shaking my head over that one.
That's kind of stupid.
But anyway, keep your jingle for Let's Hang Out.
Oh, sure.
Keep your casual look and everything going right. This is great. I don't have
Thank you, Guy.
I don't have a prize to give to all your audience. Sorry, Jesse. But I did tell you about Gallium OS. So anybody that you know that's got a deprecated Chromebook, well, of course, you can go to the GuyerCookReport.podbean.com and look up that episode. And I've got the link for the YouTube video on how to. You got to take your Chromebook and put it into what's called developers mode. That's so you can sideload anything on it you want. And once you're in developers mode, you basically say, this is going away and this Gallium is replacing it. And because you
operating system.
Yeah. The entire operating system on that Chromebook now is, instead of Chrome OS, is Gallium.
I just want to jump in here and say, we're talking about, and the collapse of the U.S. economy, we're going to have to rearrange make up our own economies, and everybody's got their own special skills. And you're talking about having a skill of being able to somehow use old technological equipment.
Right.
To do new things.
The rescue I've done with old technical equipment, my favorite is right behind me on the table over there is a flatbed scanner that when Windows 10 came out, no drivers, won't work, can't use it. So I was about to take it to the Goodwill and I said, oh, maybe this will work on Linux. So because I got too many computers, I've got one that runs Linux Mint. I plugged it into the USB port, and as Sheldon would say, bazinga, it worked.
It was recognized right away?
Yeah. It was, talk about your plug and play. I didn't have to do anything. There's a program in the Linux distribution called Simple Scan, I think it's called.
Okay.
Or Simple Scanner. And so I went to the graphics tab, when you look at your programs. Oh, let's throw this in the pond, see if it works. And poof, there it was. It worked.
Well, that's good you found that out before.
That was a gamble that was lucky.
Nice.
That's a big part of scanning albums.
My concern here is that with this new society that is going to be sort of an alternative to the United States that we have to create because the United States has abandoned us. I'm just saying, this is all hypothetical, but supposing it happens, we're going to need people to teach other people how to, there are a lot of technological nerds who can take a car and rebuild it, but they need to have skills upgraded. Is there a way that you can contribute to the upgrading of those mechanical skills to technological skills?
I've been supporting businesses on the internet since before there was pictures. So I think in a given day, I got to stop this for a second. When Fraser Ramsey says it's on the invoice, that little mention there, one time, and this is under the showing people how to do something. I did something for Fraser, explaining something or whatever. And he goes, "Oh gosh, thanks a lot. That's just great. You saved me so much time." I said, "Oh, don't worry, Fraser. It'll be on your invoice." And he's stolen that on your invoice.
He ran with it.
Oh yeah. It's throw it in the pond, see if it floats. Yeah. But this point, I've got to Jesse, I should tell you. Remember I told you that my wife is Choctaw Native? Well, her cousin Norm is full-blood Choctaw. Like, lives in Oklahoma on the reservation. We're driving in the rental car one day, and she says, "Norm, what would Guy's Indian name be?" You know, like everybody has an Indian name, right? Like Pat's would be Durham Skywriter, okay? So Norm mutters something in Choctaw, blah, 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 blah. Well, what does that mean? She's thinking it's going to be like running elk or something, you know, something cool.
Fraser said it would be talk a lot.
Right. That's my Indian name, Jesse. Talk a lot. I don't know if it's medication or just genetic. It's hard to say.
It's coffee. You're in the Northwest.
No, it's tea. I'm a military dependent from 1959 to 1961. Okay. And I was 8 to 10 years old. Okay. The English kids all get to drink tea, but it's not like sun tea like you have in the summertime, you know, where you take the big jar. Oh, this is like they mix the tea with, I think, with cream and honey, and it's really sweet, high energy drink. And so I'll never forget, we'd get a big glass bottle of that because that's all you had back in them days.
That's how we had tea when we were little. A lot of milk. In fact, sometimes it was half tea, half milk.
Yeah. My staff bet me one time. I used to be a marketing director at an ISP, and they said, "Well, coffee has got less caffeine in it than tea does. Tea's got way more caffeine." I said, "Well, let's make a bet on that." I mean, you got access to the largest compendium of record history in the world, so look it up.
Wikipedia.
And, if I'm right, then you guys buy me lunch. If I'm wrong, I'll buy all you all. There's 3 of them. I'll buy all y'all lunch.
Who won?
Well, I did, of course. I don't bet on. I don't only bet on sure things, Pat.
Gosh. Oh, okay. I didn't.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm trying to figure out is why are you guys so much bigger than I am? I mean, this way. Are you closer to your camera?
I am approximately 15 inches from my. How far are you from your camera?
Jesse's going.
Where's Jessie going?
Away. Oh, she's getting away from the camera to be smaller. Oh, there's a clue. We know that Jessie sews.
Yeah,
so she'll have a skill that she can offer to the community. She'll be the community seamstress.
You know, bartering was a big fad back in the 90s.
Are you making the face masks, Jessie?
Actually, I'm busy with a lot of other projects, so I taught my husband how to do that. Now he makes
delegation is an important part of management.
Is elastic still hard to find?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it is. I haven't looked lately, but we got a lot of headbands, and we can use those for the ear.
Okay. Because some people are also making the fabric a little larger and then making slits in the fabric to slip over your ears, so you can skip that step.
Yeah, or you can make ties, that tie behind your head.
The other day in the mail, I have Humana insurance for the backup to my Medicare Plan B, the extra insurance. They sent me in the mail 2 face masks.
Isn't that thoughtful?
The only trade-off is they say Humana down the side.
That's okay.
So you're kind of, I have this envisioning being a walking billboard for Humana when I wear it, but
nothing wrong with that.
It's a nice fabric. It's not double knit, but it's some kind of knit. It's not cotton. It's
not. I'll bet it's like neoprene. Is it like neoprene?
Something smooth and really easy to wear. You don't even hardly know it's there.
Very cool. Very cool indeed.
Years ago in Washington State, we had really bad smoke from the forest fires. right? And I mean, you could see it. It was like smog in LA, but worse.
Wow.
And so they said, well, you got to wear a face mask if you go outside. Well, my daughter and all of the cousins in her generation, they're all nurses. They're all telling me on Facebook, Uncle Guy or Dad, as the case may be, you have to have an N95 rated face mask. Nothing else will be good for this smoke. So I went to Amazon. This is years ago. Went to Amazon, got a box of 10, which is way more than you need, because I'm still wearing the same one. My wife keeps saying, you got to throw this away. I said, this ain't wore out. So it hangs off the, the elastic straps. I got it hanging off the rearview mirror in the car. So I always have it in the car if I'm going someplace. So anyway, speaking of going someplace, Jesse's going to go, thank God. I have to go because I'm interviewing a guy, supposedly a guy from SEM Rush. He asked me if he could be a part of the SEM Rush. They're one of the influencers, I think, in search engine optimization, that kind of stuff.
Okay, SEO.
And he's promised to provide 10 tips on working from home.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, I could see how that might be a winner.
Okay,
I mean, I've been working from home. My joke was my commute was 17 steps. Sometimes it's 19 if I have a full cup of tea.
Wow. Yeah, I've been working out of the home since I moved here.
Oh, I've been working out of the home since, 2000. Seattle TV one time said the best way to work from home is to have a separate place so you can go to work and then you can leave work.
Nah.
So my computer was
I work in my kitchen.
Yeah, my computer was set up in the dining room, like the little partition wall between the dining room and the living room. I was off the end of that. One summer, the boys went running through the house with a water fight. That was the end of being in the house. I spent about $600, upgraded the garden shed to have insulation, electricity, and internet. And
why couldn't you just banish the children? I'm just kidding.
Well,
did you grab a mask to show us, Jesse?
Yeah, I was gonna say I got this. I don't know. When I came in, you were talking about N95 masks, and all I have is just
N is Nancy.
Oh, okay. N95. So all I've got is this is one that is made with. So there's a headband. You see that hairband?
Oh, clever.
Yeah. And I used so this was before we retrieved my sewing machine. So I used safety pins just to save. Oh God, how do you do this?
just hold it up to the.
There we go. Safety pins to pin the fabric over the. There we go. Over the right there. You see it?
Yeah.
So the headband's there, and hairband, and there's two of them, and so. This is how I did it, and I just got this piece of cloth. Is
That's clever.
So it's some kind of a thing I got at the dollar store. But this is one my husband made. Isn't that cool?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's an artist.
That's nice.
Yeah.
He's a keeper. I got to scoot. I'm going to say adios again.
Okay, thanks for dropping in, guy.
It's for real this time. See you later.
Thank you so much.
Nice
Keep up the good work.
Nice
to meet you, Jess. See you, bye.
Take care.
Where's he live?
Way out in Washington State.
Wow.
Yeah. I have like Fraser. You keep mentioning Fraser. I don't know if Fraser's still here, but he's in Scotland.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So if we're gonna have how's an alternative network of people in this alternative society in case our society collapses, we're gonna need somebody to put up a satellite to make sure that all the internet still works, and then we're gonna need electricity. So how are we gonna do that?
I honestly don't think it's going to fall apart completely.
Okay.
Because actually, the United States will it's going to take a long time for USA to run out of money. And in fact, Canada has been paying their folks, and Canadians have been taken care of very nicely by their government. And Canada is not nearly as rich as USA supposedly. So when people are upset with, I think someone who plans to run against Governor Cooper, North Carolina Governor Cooper, is taking him to court because he's forcing us to be safe and to wear masks, etc. This person is saying that because he's making these decisions that are hurting our livelihoods, that he needs to be taken to court, sued, etc., etc. A lot of people are very upset about having to stay inside, having to play safe, having to keep socially distant. They're really mad at the wrong people, because if the United States had the will, they could easily string us along for months, for years, in terms of paying us enough to live and to, placate the rental agents and, the landowners, the building property owners. The United States could pay for all of that easily, but the will is not there. It's really weird how it's almost like the people are the enemy when it comes to the gentleman who's in the White House right now.
I don't get that.
He doesn't even like his own base. I don't think they realize. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on about that. But the United States, if the United States had the will, they could easily pay us all at least enough to not starve. Let's put it that way. And instead of being upset for governors closing down and mayors shutting down cities and playing safe, they're wrong. They're mad at the wrong people. They're mad at the wrong people.
Yeah.
But
I don't have any power. What are you mad at me for? What I do?
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's really crazy. So I sincerely doubt that USA is going to run out of money. Duke Energy could probably string us along and give us free electricity for quite a while without going bankrupt. They've got plenty of dough. They're not going to do it, of course. I'm just saying, if they really had to, because we were all penniless, they could float us for a while easily, I think. Well, what do I know? I don't know how much is in their pockets, but I'm just saying that they're making so much money, hand over fist. In fact, they wouldn't have to pay their lobbyists for a while, and that money alone could keep us, and pay for our internet as well.
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry about it just yet. I'm really worried about the people who, unlike myself, aren't on Social Security. And I mean, I haven't made any ad revenue since March, but I'm squeaking by because I get a monthly check. I'm just squeaking by, just barely, but I'm not desperate. A lot of people are desperate at this point.
Yeah.
They don't have that nice help from the government. A lot of people, like my sister, she's already just working part-time, and she had to cut her hours, I think, in half.
I've been hearing also that there's going to be like this huge avalanche of evictions coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
This morning, go ahead.
Let me go to the word page, because I mention it every few days, and I did not mention it today. Let me go to the word page real quick.
Okay.
Because the DSS, this is for
DSS, Department of Social Services.
Right, this is for people here in Durham. In case you're watching in different cities, folks, this is for us only. Hopefully, check with your counties. But Durham County Department of Social Services has emergency funding available, not only to help people trying to make their rent, but people who are starting to miss their mortgage payments. So they can help. So there's a number to call. I think you call 919-560-8000, get the ball rolling. And they can also, the city of Durham has a program where if you're falling behind on your water bill, you can get up to $240 credit to help you
Oh,
catch
good.
up with your water bill. So water bills usually aren't that much. So 240 should catch you up unless you're really, 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 really way behind, or of course, unless you have a family. But I think my water bill is only like $30 a month. I live alone, so it
Yeah,
was
I
a
know
lot. It
mine
was a
is
lot
small.
more. Yeah, it was a lot more when my aunt was alive because she was incontinent. We ran the washing machine just about every day. But I've got the my bill down to like $30.
So you were your aunt's caregiver?
Yeah, she had Alzheimer's. That's why I moved here from
Oh,
Chicago.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So, how long did she live that you were her
I took
caregiver?
care of her. I took care of her for like 6 years.
Wow,
6 years.
that's a big
Ty-
job.
Typically, Alzheimer's patients last typically 8 years. And some last. It all depends on the person, but like my dad lasted about 8 years. My aunt lasted about 6. Once you're diagnosed, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Because my aunt started showing symptoms back in the 90s, but wasn't diagnosed until 2001.
My dad had some kind of dementia, and he
Mm-hmm.
started getting pneumonia about 8 years after diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah, and he had a living will, so at one point he got pneumonia, and we decided to let him go. That was hard.
Yeah, yeah. My dad had what's it called? Do not resuscitate, DNR.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad also had Alzheimer's. While I'm taking care of my aunt here in Durham, my sister's back home in Chicago taking care of our dad. He also had Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and he
Oh,
lasted
you're
a.
good children.
Well,
You're
we
so
were taught we were taught to be nice, family first. Well, God first. Well, God and family first, both together. But yeah, we were taught to step up to the plate, do what you got to do. Help the family work together. Don't fight each other. There's so many siblings, and sometimes dementia and Alzheimer's divide families because the siblings, they want everything to be equal. You help mom on Monday and Tuesday. It's really, really hard when you're a caregiver. Very often, you're going to be the only one, and the other siblings will tiptoe away and leave you hanging. It's just human nature. I don't even think it's. I don't even think they really mean it, but it's hard to deal with.
It's hard to take care of the older generation. It's so easy for us to assume that they're the authority. I mean, I think that was
Mm-hmm.
the hardest thing for me with my dad. He
Yeah.
was my dad. He was like, the sun. He was that
Mm-hmm.
important.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sun, like up in the
I
sky.
know. Yeah, I know what you mean. Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I had a hard time thinking of myself as being perhaps more with it than him.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
difficult.
rough. Yeah.
Well, what I used to do, because when I would, of course, this was my aunt, so it wasn't as. It was still. It was an emotional thing still, but I did not grow up with my aunt. I grew up in Chicago, but we were as close as you could be considering the distance. So it was still nerve-wracking and harrowing experience to take care of her. But one thing I used to do, we would have dinner, and then after dinner, I'd thank her. I'd say, "Thanks for dinner, Titi." We called her Titi. I said, "Thank you," and she'd say, "Oh, you're quite welcome." She
Aw.
didn't. She didn't fix dinner. I fixed dinner,
Yeah.
but I wanted her to. I
Have
mean,
a
I
positive experience, right?
yeah. So I would thank her, and then she'd take credit for dinner, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you don't want them to completely be, even though they are reliant on you totally. You still want them to keep their dignity.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
that's hard.
it is. It is, especially when they don't obey.
Well, the thing that I did, I mean, I don't, never mind. The only thing that I was able to do that I was
Mhm.
really proud of with my dad was to for him and I to plant bulbs together in the fall.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because I could dig the holes and then give him the bulbs and he would toss them in the holes and then
That
I'd
is so
cover.
cute.
It worked out really well.
You should be proud, just the fact that you were there for him. Do you know how many people run and hide when their parents need them, or just place them in a home, which is not the worst thing in the world, because sometimes it's just too much.
Yeah,
Sometimes
well,
it really is too much.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but at least you were there, and whether you later put him in a home or not, you were still there for him, and that's really important. Because I remember my great. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, please go on.
I was just going to say, when I was a kid, my great grandmother, my dad's maternal grandmother, was in a nursing home, and I felt bad. We couldn't take care of her. She was 300 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of lifting.
Yeah.
Just nobody can handle it. So she was in a nursing home, but she would really cheer up when we walked into the room. So even though we felt bad, we were at least happy that she recognized us. Well, at least for a while, she recognized us and enjoyed seeing, having us visit her. So however you do it, whether it's weekly visits, whether it's, for us, it was watching Lawrence Welk show on Sunday nights, with the old folks,
Oh, I hate Lawrence Welk, but I think
it's disgraceful, but
What?
like I said, you got to do what you got to do. If you have to
That's
sit
right.
through corny shows
That's
like
right.
Lawrence Welk,
Yes.
do it.
If you can do something with your family in that situation, yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Exactly. So what's going to happen this weekend with you, Jesse? What are you going to do this weekend? Because I don't know if you heard about the Lily giveaway.
I did.
Keep Durham beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, even though I'm just an individual, I still filled out the application. I did point out, I said, I'm just an individual, but if you have any left over, save some for me. And I think that they might. I mean, it can't hurt.
So what is it? Why do you say just an individual? They're giving them only to groups or?
Yeah, this is for like community gardens, faith-based, neighborhood groups.
Friends of your cemetery, maybe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe we could plant some there.
Actually, you need to do that, because and I looked at the application. Well, I filled out the application. They actually want to know if where you're going to plant the bulbs, if it's going to be in public view. So I pointed out that my front yard is admired by a lot of people, and yes, they're going to be right up front, not in my backyard where nobody can see them. But in case of Deer Cemetery, yes.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Thank you for letting us know about that. And that's tomorrow. And then when is the
Oh, there is a deadline. Oh, I don't think I even mentioned the deadline. Let me go to the garden page real quick. I forgot to mention that. So the deadline is let's see. Well, there is a deadline, but I think it's first come, first serve. I don't actually have a deadline. I don't know if there is a formal deadline, but the giveaway is Thursday and Friday. And they said when you do get the bulbs, you must be able to plant them immediately. So I have a feeling that these are leftover bulbs that have started sprouting already.
Okay.
Which is great, because then you'll know they're going to grow.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for giving me that information.
That would be beautiful under your sign.
There's some other stuff too, right? Tomorrow. I mean, is the child care, you said there's a...
Oh, the rally for the child care.
Yeah, that's
going to be, that's today from 4 till 5, I believe. Let me make sure.
Oh, okay.
Let me go to the Let's Go page. Let's see, I believe that is, yeah, Mom's Rising. Yeah, 4 until 5. And it's with Nancy Pelosi, Elizabeth Warren, a lot of big shots. Not a big shop.
And it's online?
It's online, and it's co-hosted by Moms Rising, and we do have a local chapter here in Durham. But this is the National Moms Rising and the National Women's Law Center. So, gotta save childcare. It's a rally for workers and families. Save childcare from 4 until 5. So the link is on the Let's Go page.
Okay.
I'm not even a mommy, but I'm still gonna go because we should all be concerned.
Yeah, and I think any woman is somebody's mom figure. Every woman is somebody's mom figure. Like
and
even for your aunt. Go ahead.
I've known people who were single dads. I mean, they need childcare too. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Not just the moms, but the dads too. And man, if you can't go out and work, how are you going to take care of your family?
Absolutely, you're right.
Unless you're on public aid. And even if you have public aid, you're still going to need help.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that folks on public aid sit around all day. A lot of them volunteer. A lot of them, in fact, there was this lady, I used to volunteer for the Family Resource Center on Disabilities back home in Chicago. They had an opening. And there was a lady, she lived in low-income projects. She was Black. And she was a wonderful volunteer. And Miss 𝗕𝗨𝗟𝗟, she pronounced it Desjardins. But anyway, she asked this lady why she hadn't applied for this job because it was right up her alley. And the lady said, "Oh, well, I've never had a job. Her child was disabled, which is why she was involved with the Family Resource Center on Disability. She was a wonderful person. But she said, I could never work because of my child. And she says, all I've ever done is volunteer. And so the director said, well, come here, let's talk. And so they went down the line and they talked about what this lady had done as a volunteer, not only for the Family Resource Center on Disabilities, but also for her church. So they wrote down all the things that she had done and all the skills that she had done. And when they saw it on paper, even though this is a lady on welfare who didn't think she had much to offer, they realized, oh my God, this lady is super skilled.
Transferable skills.
She got the job.
That's great. Yeah. Because, I think that's something that a lot of my students are surprised to know that they have transferable skills. There's so many skills that people have to have: managing a household, shopping, finding the best price, all those kinds of things. Those are big, important skills that you can put on your resume. And
imagine feeding a family of 6. You get 1 payment a month. And that takes serious math skills and also organizational skills as well. Although there are some families that they're in trouble at the end of the month because they haven't allocated their money wisely. But once you learn, you've developed quite the skill. Skill.
I remember my dad used to say at the end of the month, he said, well, we're going to be eating turnips. Oh, God. I mean,
Well, my granddad, they were super poor when he was a kid. They had 9 kids in Augusta, Georgia. They had water for dinner. So when they got home, they did their homework. And because the thing that was really punched home every day was that you got to do well in school, because they were dirt poor. So they would do their homework, then they fill up their stomachs with water. So they'd halfway fill, full. That was dinner for a lot of nights. Not every night, but a lot of nights.
Yeah.
And guess what he grew up to be?
What?
College professor.
Yes. So, all right. Good.
So that's probably one reason why I'm not too worried. I don't think the country's going to fall apart. I think people are rediscovering things that they had taken for granted, such as growing food, actually cooking, as opposed to, because with fast food, if you have a family of 5 or 6, you can spend $30.
Yeah.
With fast food. But for $30, now I live alone. I don't mind eating the same thing every day. I make a vat of something every week, and I eat like this week it's spaghetti, and that costs what, less than $12, and that's it for the week. Of course, salad. Of course, gotta have salad, fruit,
I was
something
going
to
to say,
drink.
you got to have your greens now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, instead of spending $30 for something temporary that only lasts for one day, one meal, I could take the same $30 and stretch that over 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and
that's
eat well.
That is really
not just greasy
smart.
burgers. So people are starting to garden. People are starting to cook. They're starting to bake. They're starting to teach their children. They can't
That's
rely on the
good
school.
too. Yeah.
That's sometimes that home learning. There's so many things that we learned in the home that was never taught at school. Things about, Pop taught us about, how can I put this? A lot of fatherless kids don't get to learn the kind of things that men teach their children. Not even going to go into details, but like in terms of safety, protection, that sort of thing. There's so many things that you learn at home that's not taught in school still. That is if you have hip parents,
Yeah, like my mom, she taught me to sew,
Yeah.
so that's why I have the sewing machine behind me, because my mom taught me like sewing is an important skill that you have to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really hard to, we want to, kids, I hate this being old, because I find myself being just like my grandmother. Kids today, now kids today,
Get off
they
my
don't.
lawn.
But it is true that the all the technology that's available today, it appalled me the first time I saw a little kid, like 2-3-year-old kid using a tablet computer.
Mm-hmm.
But that's normal. That's normal.
It is for them, yeah. They're almost like born knowing technology.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be fair to deprive a kid of the normal experience, but at the same time, it's so important to have some just survival skills like gardening and sewing
and just
that kind of thing.
going outside and playing and burning off steam, because so many parents and teachers think that a child is good if he's quiet. A kid can hold it in only for so long. Even though I was a very quiet, shy kid, oh man, I couldn't wait to get outside and just run around, kick something, kick the, soccer ball. We rode our bikes. We played outside until the street lights came on. We drank out of the water hose. We didn't bother to go inside unless we really had to, like use the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids need to get back to that, running outside, playing. I taught the kids how to read on my blog, the little ones at least.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
We
Like
used to
playing
play
school, you mean? Yeah.
My mom was a kindergarten teacher, so it came natural for me.
In the family.
Yes, I was teaching the kids how to read, and so hopefully people are getting back to some of the basics at least. Now, I don't think the country's going to completely fall apart. I really don't.
I don't know why I have this be prepared thing. What is
Well,
that?
actually, with us being so-called old, that's actually a good thing, because we can, if they don't mind us telling them about things that they need to know, the things they can brush up on. Also, young folks can teach us a lot as well. Did you know that the Skywriter was out of publication for a year after my aunt died? Of course, we fell directly face first into poverty, or I did rather, because we were living off of her pension. I couldn't work. I was taking care of my aunt. So I couldn't pay for printing anymore. So Skywriter was kaput after my aunt died. And some young people said, go online, put it online. I said, online? What is this you speak of? So yeah, so the Skywriter still exists because I was willing to listen to young people who gave me the best advice.
Yeah,
They told me how to do it.
that's great.
Yeah, so we can help each
So
other.
you, that must have happened like between 2004 and 2000, what? 15?
2007,
Okay.
2007,
Okay.
2008.
Yeah, that was the bad financial time in this
Yeah,
country.
yeah. So, but yeah, so we can help each other, and I think families hopefully are getting tighter because we used to sit around and listen to comedy records when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We all watched TV together. I know now everybody's a TV in their own room and in the bathroom and in the attic, the
Yeah.
basement. There's TVs everywhere, but we all would sit on top of each other and watch TV in the den, and we were a pretty close family. Hopefully that can continue, or people can start, to save electric bills, all watch TV in the same room. And hopefully people can get hip to solar energy because you were worried about electricity and whatnot. I don't know if I could actually show you. Where are they? I don't think I can move my camera around enough to. Oh, you see that dangling there? So I have solar lights.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So actually, sometimes I just use my solar lights instead of, ceiling lights at night. And I was able to, when I was really in trouble financially, I saved a lot of money because I had solar lights all over the house.
You are smart. Wow. Yeah.
Yes, desperate.
So, I mean, do you have solar collectors, or did you take them outside and let them charge up, or do they charge up inside?
Actually, I have two solar lights right at the back door there charging. I use them as night lights because I don't like sleeping in total darkness. I'm scared of the dark.
Wow.
But yeah, you can buy these lights between $10 and $20.
Yeah.
And you hang them from hooks all over your house. And see what they really made those for people in like Southeast Asia, African countries, Latin America, kids who are studying by kerosene, having to study outside because they don't want to poison their families, reading by kerosene for school. And so they came up with this idea of let's send these kids solar lights, and it's made all the difference in the world. I realized, well, poor folks here could use solar lights. Maybe we don't have to worry about studying by kerosene. But I was telling, there are a couple families I knew who were suffering financially, and I said, tell your kids it's like camp night. And on Tuesday nights, everything's solar. In terms of, solar lights and not turning on the electricity, you can save a lot of money that way. And also,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
Switch to LED lights. Did you know that the newest kind of LED lights are only 20% of your bill now? Like if you had a regular incandescent light,
yeah,
if you replace that with an LED light, you're already saving 80%.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So all my lights are LEDs.
Okay.
That
must be why, because I live in an apartment now, and the Duke Power gave us a box full of LED lights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what we use now, and the electric bill is low. And I was thinking, when we lived in a house, it was huge, but here it's low.
And Dollar Tree has them now.
Is that right?
I didn't know that. You can get an LED light, bright white, from Dollar Tree for $1.
All righty.
And I highly recommend anybody that's on a budget, replace those regular incandescent and throw out halogen. Halogen is just like ridiculous. Halogen, I don't even know if people still have halogen bulbs, but get rid of those things. They're super expensive. And they're even cheaper than the compact fluorescent bulbs. Remember the curly bulbs? They're even cheaper than those in terms of usage, in terms of your bill.
Okay, so the LED lights, they're like, they look like regular light bulbs, but they, okay. Yeah, that's what Duke Power gave us. Yeah. So those curly ones, they're not LED?
They are called compact fluorescent.
Okay.
So they're good. They're better than incandescent. You can still save on your bill, but they have since been replaced by LED. Because I remember when LEDs first came out, they were like $20 a bulb.
Yeah.
But now, Dollar Tree. I don't know
Okay.
how it happened. I don't know how it
That's good.
happened.
Well,
But
technology, I guess. So, okay. I'm sorry.
yeah. So I'm just saying. So there's a lot of ways that we can save money. I say start now. I mean, even if your job is safe and everything is cool, you never know. You just never
Yeah.
know. You
Yeah.
might as well just start saving now. Get a pressure cooker. Learn how to actually cook in terms of warming up. I was really good with warming up. I'm actually learning how to actually cook now. So get stuff like crock pot, pressure cooker. Learn how to cook in bulk, because when you purchase in bulk, you're saving a lot of money too.
Yeah. And also, I guess learn about how to make complete proteins, like beans and rice. When you put them together, that's a complete protein. But
Okay.
so you don't need to eat meat. You can
Exactly.
yeah, legumes, any kind of
Mm-hmm.
legume and grain when you put those together.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be barley and corn. No,
Yeah.
barley and corn, that's 2 grains. Barley and peas? Peas
That
and
sounds
barley.
good. I think Jamaicans have like rice and beans. I associate that with Brazil and Spanish speaking Latin America, but I think Jamaicans have peas and rice, which is probably just as good.
And that makes me think of the 3 sisters. You know about the 3 sisters?
No.
Okay, so when you garden, you plant your squash, beans, and corn together.
Oh, squash,
So
beans, and corn. Okay.
the beans crawl up the corn stalk.
Oh, okay.
And I think the squash can do that too, right?
I think that's a Native American thing. I think I
Yeah.
heard about that. I haven't
We'll have
tried
to
it
ask
yet, though.
Guy next time he's on, right?
Yeah, I think it's a Native American thing, which is very hip, actually. So I'm gonna mosey on, Jesse, and drop by anytime.
Thanks.
How are things going with Gear Cemetery? Just real quick, since I forgot to mention it.
Just really great. There's a new executive director, and the organization is now an official 501(c)(3), and she is just really dynamic. She's got a
Wonderful.
great group, and I'm a director on the board of directors. And
Nice. You still have the Boy Scouts helping out?
I don't think we've used the Boy Scouts lately, but we love Boy Scouts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think, because what did they do? They made a trail or a sign, or
Harold did. Pardon me.
But they made something.
Jaquez Harold did his Eagle Scout project in there, and he put benches and Chapel Hill gravel down on the lane, so it's almost like a park now. You can just go in there and sit and
nice.
commune
nice.
with the spirits of the people there, and also if you believe in eternal life through trees, which I do, you can commune with the trees.
That's nice. I actually need to visit. I have never gone to Gear Cemetery, and yet I have relatives buried there.
Oh gosh, well, you've got to go. Let me know when you want to go. I'll go with you.
I think there's a couple of Atwaters in there. And I think my cousin Julia's grandmother is in there. I can tell you her name. I could look it up. But yeah, so I think I have some relatives in there for sure.
Oh, we've got to talk. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have like a directory or something?
Yeah, there's an online list of names, and there's about 1,500 names since 1908.
Ooh. Okay.
I think it's called Cemetery Survey. If you Google Cemetery Survey and then you look for Geer Cemetery in Durham, North Carolina, you can get to it.
Okay, awesome. So one day I want to. I'd love to visit with you because it's near your house, right?
Yeah. It's near the house where we're actually moving from, but yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, you're moving. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're old, we're downsizing.
Oh, okay.
I
Well, that's
don't
cool.
know. It's a little easier.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. My next door neighbors are actually talking about that as well. In fact, they're getting their house ready now, so that when they sell it, it'll be in tip-top condition. So it happens. It happens. So
It does. It happens to us. Oh my God. Anyway,
yeah.
it's been great to hang out with you.
Nice hanging out with you as well. And we will talk again soon.
Thank you.
Okay, have a great weekend, Jesse.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Super fun. Okay, so that was Bull City Hangout for 6/26. I do hope you have a wonderful day. I almost said weekend, but I will be back tomorrow. I might do the show at 10 because doing the show at noon on Saturdays, you kind of miss out on everything that ends at noon, like the farmers markets. So I'll probably do the show before noon tomorrow morning. And with that, have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao for now.